A key aspect of reform in the last days will be that of Sabbath reform. And we see this spoken of in the book of Isaiah in chapter 56, verses 1, 2, 6, and 7. Blessed is the man that keeps the Sabbath from polluting it is a paraphrase of these verses. We see the Sabbath and the law spoken of in several other chapters in Isaiah that highlight the importance of both. The law, and particularly the Sabbath, we see will play a key role in the final battle between right and wrong, good and evil, as the great controversy between Christ and Satan plays out. In the Sabbath commandment, we find the seal of God, as it contains all three aspects to a seal. A seal must have a name, a title, and a territory. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George Bush, there's the name. The title is President, and the territory is the United States of America. In the Sabbath commandment, we find this as well. The name of God is Lord. The title is Creator, because it says He made the heavens and earth. And the territory is the heavens, the earth, the sea, and all that in them is. Only a Creator God has the authority to legitimately ask for reverence and worship, and the Sabbath points this out. Safe test in life and Bible study is Isaiah chapter 8 verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them. The Sabbath has been kept since the Garden of Eden, and right through history, every generation has always had a group who knew about it, kept it, and passed it on, despite the man of sin trying to stamp it out. Right after these messages are given in Revelation 14, verses 6 through 12, the Son of Man comes, which shows that they are given right prior to Jesus' return. After 1844, when the Sabbath was discovered by the Advent believers, many of the same old arguments were used by people who did not want to keep it. We have always kept Sunday. There are too few of us to keep it that it will not make a difference. However, there were a few people who followed the process through the sanctuary. They came into the most holy place. They saw the Ark of the Covenant. They saw the law of God, and in the law of God, they saw the Sabbath. And despite few people doing it, and despite the great religious minds of their day not keeping it, they committed to keep the law of God. Those who search the truth for themselves will always be rewarded by God. Many of the Advent believers rejected this new interpretation of the sanctuary. They rejected the interpretation of God's law, and they tried to fix new dates for the return of Jesus. In so doing, they were merely repeating history, for in the Bible, Paul warned the Thessalonians against doing the same and urged them to test their views against the Bible. Setting new dates and the tenuous arguments that accompany them bring contempt on all believers from those outside. The faith of God's people was sorely tested during this time, and sadly, many chose not to walk with the faith anymore. The Advent believers were repeating the history of ancient Israel, who after leaving Egypt could have gone straight to the promised land, but because of their unbelief, they wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. The Advent believers could have gone straight home if they had believed and embraced the message. It was never God's will to delay this much. The sharing of the truth involves inconvenience and often reproach, but we are called to share it anyway. Even when men evade or resist it, it is our duty to share it and let our light shine. The world has people who act out of policy, but God needs people who act out of principle, men who do right because it is right and leave the consequences to God. May we be such people by His grace and His power.